Morning, ladies and gents. For news close and far, tune into JAR. Thank you for tuning into JAR, your Channel 29 news. Today is November 24th, 2020, and I'm your anchor, Jenny Lamb, here with my co-anchor and editor, Annie Din.
And on the sidelines, we have Ryan Hang as our on-site reporter in DC.
Live and reporting in, Annie and Jenny. It sure is a windy day in DC.
On to today's topic. What is the most influential branch of government that the U.S. uses? For viewers who don't understand, the United States government is broken into three branches: the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. Each branch has their own responsibilities, but today we're talking about which branch's responsibilities are the most impactful.
That's right, Jenny, and our answer to you is that the executive branch is the most influential branch on American society. But moreover, can you clarify what the executive branch does for us?
The executive branch or presidency is the branch of government exercising authority in and holding responsibility for the governance of the nation's laws. Other roles that the president entails is commander-in-chief, which grants the president the commanding authority over all military officers in both war and peacetime; representative of the nation, which makes the president a representative of all the people in the nation in a way that no member of Congress can; and foreign policy leader, which entails the promotion of trade and friendship with other countries while maintaining the security and benefits of the U.S. Although our question talks mainly about American society, what happens outside of America affects American society as well. The executive branch has a lot of control over diplomatic situations and can create great change within the nation and outside the nation that will in turn still affect our great nation. Over to you, Annie.
Thank you, Jenny. Moreover, now we should explain why we think the executive branch has the most influence. The president's responsibilities are easily seen within and extend beyond the nation itself, with their responsibilities as commander-in-chief and foreign policy leader. The president has the ability to appoint ambassadors for foreign matters, which will help him ensure the spread of democracy and encourage trade with outside nations. Aside from overall spread of democracy, which is always a plus, the promotion of trade will benefit our nation's economy. Plus, as we'll reveal later, what the president says and believes greatly affects the beliefs and thought processes of American society. The executive branch also affects the other two branches in a multitude of ways, thereby increasing its influence. The president has the ability to appoint new judges to the Supreme Court, giving him influence and the power to select people with like-minded thinking. On the other hand, the president has the ability to veto and sign bills that all go through Congress. Another power that the executive branch has is the executive order, which can have lasting impacts on the nation. For example, the creation of the U.S. aid was under an executive order by President Kennedy. While there is more than executive order that goes into creating an entire department, President Kennedy's initial order has since provided food assistance to more than 53 million people in 47 countries in crisis in 2016, helped 52 million children and youth learn by strengthening education programs and systems in 45 countries, saved the lives of 4.6 million children and 200,000 women since 2009. To put it into a better perspective, let's move this conversation over to Ryan on the sidelines.
Anyways, people tend to follow a leader. So when the president thinks that a virus that is killing thousands of people in short amounts of time is no big deal, some people will begin to think that way. That is the present situation with the recent COVID-19 virus and Donald J. Trump, our current president, whose lack of action has led to a lack of awareness in American society. President Trump has lied many times about how corona is not a big deal, or that the cases and deaths are going down, while in reality, the cases and deaths were rapidly going up, according to sources from The Atlantic. This has led many Americans to take the pandemic lightly, which in turn caused more havoc in our country. I mean, here in Santa Clara County, the recent inaction has brought us back to purple tier after all. All in all, the executive branch has the power to influence what people think. There are people who see through these lies, but there are also many people who believe every word that comes out of our president's mouth just because he's the president, thinking that entails that he might know what he's talking about. His claims, according to The Atlantic, was coronavirus numbers are looking much better, going down almost everywhere, to quote him, and cases are, to quote again, coming way down. The truth is, when Trump made these claims in May, coronavirus cases were either increasing or plateauing in the majority of American cities. Over the summer, the country saw a second surge even greater than its first in the spring. It didn't help that the president backed his misleading claim with various misleading tweets that summer as well. Another claim of his is how the coronavirus is, to quote, going to go away without a vaccine. and we're not going to see it again, hopefully after a period of time, end quote. The truth is that Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, has repeatedly said in May that COVID-19's sudden disappearance is just not going to happen until the country has a scientifically sound, safe, and effective vaccine to, quote, the pandemic will not be over. These false claims have led to disasters in American society. Just to touch on some of them, the claims and actions of Trump's include his withdrawal from the Paris Agreement, which led to lesser awareness for the ever-increasing problems with global warming. Anyway, that's all for me. Back to you, Jenny.
Thanks for that insightful information, Ryan. I sure learned something new.
Thanks for having me.
That concludes our segment for today. With all of this being said, we hope that we convince you that the executive branch is the most influential branch of government. From the broadcasting team here at Channel 29 JAR, this has been JAR News with Jenny Lam,
Annie Din,
and Ryan Heng.
Remember to stay safe, wear a mask, and for news close and far, tune into JAR.